Today I'm going to tell you what you need to get into alpine climbing. What's up everybody, it's Brain here today, and today we're going to talk about alpine climbing. So last week on Trail Talk Tuesday I talked about rock climbing. Today we're going to talk about what gear you need for alpine climbing. So it all depends on what you're getting into. There's mild alpine climbing like going to Camp Muir or doing Mount St. Helens, and then you have a little bit more like Mount Adams. These are things in my area. And obviously around the world it can be very different on what's mild and what's severe. But we're going to talk about the basic gear you'll want and then what you'll want to move into after. So to start out, I recommend you're going to want to get some gaiters. And if you don't know what gaiters are, these go around your legs down at the ankle and the shin and hook under your boot and allow it to be a sealed area so you don't get snow in your socks and in your boots. They're not waterproof, like you can't walk across like a river in them, but they do help a ton when walking in alpine snow and in deep snow and powder and all of that different stuff. These are cheap ones. These are from Bluefield, bought them on Amazon for like 15 bucks. They have torn, but they've made it 3 years. So for 15 bucks, definitely recommend picking up a pair. Next would be if you're getting into a snowfield, but it's, you know, you're not super sure on how slick it's going to be, you're going to want to get some crampons. These are bigger spiked crampons, but you can buy crampons that just fit on any normal boot. They have a little bit of a thing on the back, and then this latches on your boot and you wrap it around. You want to buy a pair of these, unless you have alpine boots, which if you're just starting out, you probably don't. These will fit on any normal hiking boot, and most hiking boots will work in the alpine as long as you have a little bit of extra traction. You can buy micro spikes that are also crampons, and those are good for like going to Muir or something smaller. These are more of your big mountain stuff, like climbing Rainier or maybe even Mount Adams, but I would not recommend these exact ones. Buy the Black Diamond ones. They're very good quality and won't let you down. If you're getting into a little bit steeper, you might want to buy an ice axe, and just a straight handled ice axe. This is a 65 centimeter. It's not, you know, Black Diamond makes them. You want it to be when you stand up and you hold it straight down, you want it to be around at your ankle. So depending on how tall you are, I'm 5'11" and I use a 65 centimeter. If you're shorter than me, a lot of females that are, you know, 5'4", they'll use something like a 50 to 55. A lot of men use 60 to 70, so it all depends on your height. But ice axe would be the next thing, and this is if you don't have poles or you're glissading, you want to have this so that if you fall, you can put it in the snow to help you stop. After that, if you're getting into a rocky area or doing a lot of glissading and stuff, you want to pick up a helmet, because rocks fall down the mountain, avalanches happen, stuff like that, and it's always good to have a helmet on, especially if you're up in a rocky area. So I recommend the Black Diamond helmet. I recommended this for last one. I think Petzl makes helmets as well, and a couple other companies. So definitely pick up a helmet, because if you're getting into more advanced eventually, you're going to want one of these. And finally, for the beginner gear would be a harness. A lot of the guided hikes and stuff that are guided climbs you're going to go on, you need a harness anyways. So you want to pick up a harness. I go with Black Diamond, but Blue Ice makes them. I want to say Blue Ice, Black Diamond, not La Sportiva. Petzl, a lot of companies make them. So you definitely want to pick up a harness, because when you're in the alpine, you want to rope into other people so you don't risk falling into crevasses and falling down slopes. So a harness is definitely a thing you need. Next would be a rope. If you are not with a guided climb and you're climbing on your own with partners, you want to pick up a rope. I recommend like a 30-meter rope max for alpine. It depends how many people you have, I guess, because if you have a group of 6 or 8, you might want like a 50-meter rope. But if you're only in a group of like 3 or 4, I'd say like a 30-meter rope, it would be plenty. Sometimes you don't even need that much. So it all depends on how many people you have. I recommend a 30-meter rope. Make sure you pick up a dry rope. This is not a dry rope. I would not use this unless I was going on only a 1-day climb where it doesn't matter if it freezes. But if you're going on a 2-day climb where you're overnight and it gets cold, you definitely don't want to have a dry rope, because you risk it freezing and potentially breaking on you. So you don't want a non-dry rope. Pick up a dry rope for alpine climbing. So I mentioned in the rock climbing video that you want to pick up Quickdraws, and these are normal like short 6 or 8 centimeter Quickdraws. These will work in Alpine if you needed to. You want to maybe pick up some ice screws. I forgot to bring them down for this video, but we're getting into the more advanced. Like, you could put this on an ice screw if you wanted to. But ideally you want to pick up Alpine Quickdraws, which are a little bit longer. You can see the difference here. It's almost double the length. And this is the shortest one I have. I have like 3 foot, I have a 4 foot Alpine. You want to get longer ones like this because if you're in the snow or you're making anchors, you want to have that extra reach. So definitely look into some longer Alpine Quickdraws. And then that leads us into a couple other things. If you're on a rope and you're needing to rope in and different stuff like that, you might want to carry a belay device depending on what you're doing. If you're climbing with a partner, you can belay them up, anchor in, you know, do all of that stuff. But if you're just doing glacier walks and stuff, you don't need one of these, but it's good to have one in your group at least. If you're climbing on your own and you're setting your own route to go up, you might want to get some avalanche anchors. I don't know exactly what these are called. I've called them avalanche anchors, got told that. There's many names for them, I believe, but you put these in the snow and then you have a way to rope in so that you and your group can walk by and rope in and unrope through sketchy areas that you're not sure about. This is an Omega Pacific, same as my ice axe, and you can pick these up for about $20 a piece. Always good to have these. And one of the last things on the list, which could fit anywhere on this other side of the spectrum, you're more advanced, is you want Alpine boots. These are a good hybrid summer boot. These are Loa, and you can get it from La Sportiva, Scappa, Loa. A lot of different companies sell them. Makes it so you can hook in crampons directly on and step into them without having to have the other type. Also, they're very insulated and good to have. A couple other things would be to get a little bit of extra rope and a carabiner so that you can make different knots and stuff for anchors. Always good to have that. But definitely look into these. You have double insulated and single insulated. Single would be your summer boot or your lower below probably 12,000 foot elevation, where double insulated would be plastic. And those are for your winter, spring, up in the 14,000 and above. All depends on the type of climber you are, how warm you are, different stuff like that. I picked these up at an REI garage sale. They're 450 new. I got them for 212. So definitely look into REI garage sales and online to buy your boots. And the last thing would be a backpack, which this one, a little bit smaller. This would be like my one-day mirror trip backpack right here, or St. Helens. Not an overnight backpack, but you want something that's, you know, comfortable, has both chest strap and a waist strap, and allows you to hook all of your gear into it easily. But that's pretty much it for the Alpine gear list. Hope you guys enjoyed. There's a couple random things you might want, like ice screws or more advanced ice axes. A lot of random things you might want. So if you're interested, leave it in the comments and I can tell you whether or not you need it or not. But this is my gear that I bring on a normal Alpine climb. But hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next week. So please like and subscribe down below, and there'll be more content where this comes from. Talk to you guys later.